Howdy hey, professional mechanical keyboard snob here, Hipyo Tech, and today I'm gonna be looking at an article that literally made my blood boil. What is this article, you might ask? Well, ignore the mechanical keyboard snobs. Membrane is all you need. This article has a few glaring issues and might even just be misleading people to buy a keyboard that they don't need. What are those issues, might ask? Number 1, false claims. Number 2, bad takes. And number 3, potentially harmful, misleading information, all to sell a cheap membrane keyboard. But don't worry, I'm gonna be tackling all of that misinformation and hopefully making it so a membrane keyboard isn't all you need, and you too can become a keyboard snob. Speaking of snobs, do you want to be a snob too? Then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because I bet you 69% of you haven't. Don't worry, it's free. I'll wait. Please, I need to pay for this suit. So let's just start by reading it, and I'll tackle it point by point. Recently, I ran a poll on Twitter asking what type of keyboard people preferred, mechanical or membrane. Now, when I read that, I expect, obviously, the answer is going to be mechanical. The results were a foregone conclusion, with mechanical keyboards winning by a landslide. No duh. I mean, of course, mechanical keyboards are just objectively better than membrane, right? Right? There was still a decent chunk of pollers who stood by membrane keyboards. So let's check out this poll. Let's check out this incredibly divisive poll, or maybe not so divisive poll. There was 30 votes. The poll had 30 votes. No, okay, I don't want to shame you for having a smaller audience, but yeah, you could have had more data. I know it's for fun, but wait a second. It's a preview of 2 upcoming keyboard reviews. I think this whole entire article exists for one keyboard. I'll give her a chance. I also received a few replies explaining which types they used, with the general consensus being that membrane keyboards are preferable for office work or other environments that required people to be around others for a significant amount of time. That's fair. Some people think that mechanical keyboards are incredibly loud, but I think that's a huge misconception, and mechanical keyboards can often be incredibly quiet. These are just 2 examples of keyboards, but with mechanical keyboards, they don't have to be loud, they don't have to be quiet, and that's half the fun. They can be literally whatever you want them to be. So, what sets membrane apart from mechanical? Before we deep dive into membrane keyboards and what makes them a great choice for most people, so we have a very explicit bias going into this objective article with a clickbait title. I can't hate on clickbait titles, I use them all the time. We should establish the difference between membrane and mechanical. A mechanical keyboard uses a spring-loaded mechanism to press a physical switch. I won't get into semantics. Sure, you press down a slider that hits a copper switch. There is a spring that pops it back up. Whatever. A membrane keyboard uses rubber domes that are pushed down with each key press to connect to small electrical contacts. Yes, it's a force sensor. Literally just you press down a rubber dome and that's it. Despite that, membranes have such a distinctive feel that even those with mechanics attempting to mimic mechanical ones can't fully replicate them. This is true, but honestly, that's for the best? Membrane keyboards have their own strengths to play up to, ones that work best for most keyboard users in the first place. Like what? Cite your sources. Okay, hold on. For the best? You're telling me mushy, inconsistent key presses that generally have to be fully pressed down are for the best? Oh, yeah. We're at the meat and potatoes. The benefits of membrane, whatever those might be. I'm gonna guess. Hold on, humor me. Cost. Okay, and anyways, let's go. There are plenty of benefits to using membrane, and for many casual PC users, those benefits far outweigh any positives of mechanical. One of the biggest benefits of membrane, by far, is the low cost. Okay, so we're assuming super low cost, maybe like $5, cheapo Dell keyboard, even a high quality membrane such as the new, Rock Hat Magma Mini, a keyboard that she did a review on. That is, hold on. Okay, it's a sales funnel, that's fine. You know what? Let's put a pin in this. Let's put a pin in this keyboard. Let me just real quick. So ignoring that specific keyboard that is touted as cheap, they say it's much more affordable than a mid-range to high-end mechanical keyboard. No duh. However, let me raise you many different mechanical keyboards that are cheap. Gamma-K, Newfie Switch Tester, Royal Kludge, Red Dragon, all of those are relatively affordable keyboards that aren't incredible, but at least offer a lot of potential and will be leagues ahead of this keyboard, allegedly. And that's not even mentioning the high costs of resources of keyboard customization. That's true, and I really wish that wasn't true, which inflates the price even more. Even if you decided to purchase a simple mechanical keyboard, some of the lowest prices on the ladder are around the $40 range. That's factually untrue. Okay, here's a mechanical keyboard for $25. Here's a mechanical keyboard for $24. Here's a mechanical keyboard for $30. I don't know about any of these specifically, but let's just establish the fact that mechanical keyboards aren't super expensive. They are getting so cheap. Here's an example. This keyboard right here, the Iusu, is a keyboard that I modded in this video. I modded the most popular keyboard on Amazon. It's $30, and for an extra $50, granted that is $80, but hold on. It sounded incredible, felt really good. There's so much more potential to buy this keyboard that's cheap when you're budget conscious and then upgrade it as you go than with something like that membrane keyboard where that's all you get. Another huge benefit, one that she mentioned earlier, is the noise level. The noise level? That's the benefit? I feel like that's coming from a point of view where literally all mechanical keyboards are clicky. Like, hold on, 1 second. 1 second. Okay, here's an example. Here's a keyboard with unmodded switches. Here's one of those mechanical switches. This is not quieter. Membrane keyboards aren't inherently quieter. Now maybe you're talking about a laptop keyboard. That's fine. Some laptop keyboards might actually be quieter than your average mechanical keyboard. Oh wait, silent switches exist and they can make your keyboard completely silent. So you can have a fully customized experience. You can have whatever you want and your keyboard will still be silent. Now, Glar says, please save me. Let me just read this. While you could purchase a brown switch mechanical if you're on a budget, it makes far more sense to buy a membrane. So I guess they're citing brown switches as the quietest switches that you could possibly buy on a budget. She says, for the average PC user, the world of mechanical keyboards for any non-tech savvy person is too loaded down with jargon. And that is so true. And that's one of the reasons why I try and over-explain every single thing when I make a video about keyboards. And while there's nothing impossible about researching said jargon, parsing through hours and articles to find a mechanical keyboard that's fitted to their specific needs, that's true. I mean, customizing a mechanical keyboard does take a lot of effort. However, I feel like if you just want something that's decent, there's now so many options out there. Like for my friends that want a keyboard but don't want to do anything, I'm just like, get a Keychron. Whatever, that's fine, get it. And that Keychron will be way better than most of the other options that they could get at that price point. There's also the high amount of effort it takes to press down a key to activate it. So I think there's a severe just misunderstanding here. She cites a laptop keyboard here being better for people with some type of disability. But just to cite something, I mean, the Apple Magic Scissor keyboard still requires about 36 gram forces to press down. So even though it's super low travel distance, the amount of force that you're putting down is about the same as your average Cherry Red. Now, she says here a membrane keyboard requires less effort to type on, and that is just fundamentally wrong. You're not sending that key press to your computer until it presses all the way down because it doesn't have a way of registering half presses. Your average mechanical keyboard does. Your actuation point is often a lot sooner than your bottom out point. So now that we've debunked the price, the sound, the functionality points of her article, let's move on to the final thoughts. So she finishes up by saying, the world of mechanical keyboards is a fascinating one with near endless ways to customize your device to fit your exact needs. Not to mention that they last much longer on average and are easier to clean and service. For those who are passionate, there are plenty of reasons to invest time and money into them. So mechanical keyboards are better, she's saying. However, this doesn't apply to a vast majority of PC users, many of which are already well invested in their own careers and passions and don't have the same energy or money to devote to such an expensive hobby. And to those people, membrane keyboards are perfectly fine to use. Well, yeah, membrane keyboards are perfectly fine to use, but I clearly remember you titling this article, Ignore the Mechanical Keyboard Snobs, membrane is all you need. If you're someone that's super far in your career and making a decent amount of money and you're using a basic membrane keyboard daily, That's an aspect of your life that could be improved for not that much investment. Maybe I'm too deep in this rabbit hole. Maybe I'm too much of a pinky raising, tea drinking keyboard snob, but I feel like this article just misses so many points. Well, okay, let's read on. You're not missing out on some profound experience, and while having a mechanical keyboard could be beneficial to some people, a membrane does almost everything most people need it to do at a fraction of the price and without having to worry about purchasing special switches in order to avoid the noise issue. And for those, let me just... Quieter. And for those who type softer, whether due to disability or not, membranes require much less energy and are easy to use for long stretches of time. That's just wrong. We've already debunked it. And oh, what's this? Today's best membrane keyboard deals? You can get the Rockhat Magma. In order to get to the bottom of whether or not this membrane keyboard that she's recommending is any good, yeah, I went out and bought that membrane keyboard. Well, kind of. I bought the full-size version because I filmed this video very last minute, and the full-size version was the only one I could overnight ship. Now, getting into this box, the keyboard itself and unboxing experience is very bare bones. So for 40 bucks, this keyboard is a keyboard. The first thing you'll notice is that it has a lot of RGB. We like epic RGB gamer time. However, another thing you'll notice is that the keycaps look pretty bad. The whole board is plastic, and let's just start with the feel. So this board feels absolutely terrible. Every single key press hurts me deeply. It's incredibly inconsistent. And guess what? If you want to send a key press, you have to press it all the way down. No halfway, no anything. That's what I was trying to say this whole time. She just wants you to buy those keyboards, which doesn't really make sense, because if you were just writing an affiliate farm article, then any keyboard would work. So what is my problem with this article? She calls out people that are into mechanical keyboards as mechanical keyboard snobs, which is already incredibly aggressive and confrontational, and then just has a bunch of wrong information in her article that might mislead a lot of people that are just looking for the best possible product they could get. Now, if you are one of those people that might have been misled and are just looking for the best possible products you can get, then I recommend you check out the slew of information on mechanical keyboards that's available. Check out some of my beginner guides, which I'll have on the end screen, and let me know if you like this type of video, because I had a lot of fun making it, and hopefully you have a lot of fun watching it. Now, I want to hear from you. Please leave a comment. Do you think membrane keyboards are all you need? Let me know. Did I miss something? 99% of it was entirely unscripted.